Near the Donetsk direction, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier moving steadily across an exposed field. The position is quickly relayed, and an FPV drone is redirected toward the area. On the ground, the soldier continues at an even pace, showing no indication that he realizes his movement is being watched from above. The approaching drone soon establishes visual contact and begins closing in from directly behind him. With no nearby cover, and the soldier still unaware of the threat, the operator maintains alignment before increasing speed. The distance disappears rapidly as the FPV drone approaches from his blind side. Before the soldier has time to recognize what is happening or react, the drone commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds across a grass field in the Donetsk sector, where a Ukrainian drone operator detects what appears to be a Russian sniper or reconnaissance soldier lying motionless in the vegetation. Wearing a grass-covered camouflage suit, the soldier blends closely with the surrounding terrain and appears to rely on remaining completely still. From above, however, the operator focuses on the suspicious position and carefully confirms the figure below. Within seconds, the drone moves directly overhead and releases ammunition toward the concealed position. The following footage, recorded by a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone near the Donetsk front, shows two Russian soldiers positioned beside a damaged residential area. A Ukrainian attack drone circles overhead, maintaining pressure and restricting their ability to relocate. One soldier attempts to use his rifle against the approaching aircraft, but the drone continues its course, descends, and commits to the strike. After the impact, both soldiers remain on the ground and appear unable to move from the position. Rather than immediately escalating the engagement, the reconnaissance drone maintains altitude and continues observing the area. One soldier reaches for a radio, apparently attempting to request assistance, but no visible response follows. The sequence demonstrates how persistent aerial surveillance can isolate an exposed position and complicate attempts to coordinate support once movement has already been restricted. The following sequence unfolds near Chasiv Yar, where a Ukrainian drone operator conducts a routine patrol across open fields and heavily damaged buildings close to the front line. The drone methodically scans tree lines, ruins, and other suspicious positions, but initially finds no visible activity. Rather than leaving the area, the operator continues along the patrol route and expands the search. Moments later, a lone Russian soldier suddenly appears moving across the exposed terrain. The drone immediately changes direction and accelerates toward his position. As the distance closes, the soldier finally notices the approaching aircraft and attempts to stop it. But his response fails to disrupt the approach, and the drone commits to the strike. The following sequence unfolds across a grassy field near the front line, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone observes a Russian soldier standing in the open before he suddenly collapses into the vegetation, possibly from exhaustion after prolonged movement. While remaining on the ground, the soldier begins making unusual gestures, repeatedly touching his head and chest in what appears to be a moment of prayer or personal reflection. The reconnaissance drone continues observing and relaying his location. Moments later, a Ukrainian FPV drone reaches the area and identifies the concealed position. Before it begins its approach, another drone arrives first but misses the target. The remaining FPV drone maintains visual contact, adjusts its angle, and then commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds along a sparse tree line near an open field in the Pokrovsk sector, where a Ukrainian FPV drone operator searches for a Russian soldier previously detected in the area. Flying low between scattered trees, the drone makes careful, controlled adjustments while systematically scanning the vegetation. After moving deeper into the tree line, the operator finally identifies the soldier lying motionless near the base of a tree, apparently believing the surrounding cover has concealed his position. The FPV drone confirms the location, aligns its approach, and uses its onboard system to complete the mission. The following sequence unfolds near Kostiantynivka, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a lone Russian soldier moving from an open field toward a nearby tree line. The drone continues tracking as he disappears deeper into the vegetation, apparently searching for temporary concealment or a place to rest. His position is confirmed and relayed to a nearby Ukrainian attack drone unit. Shortly afterward, an FPV drone arrives and begins flying low through the dense trees, carefully searching the last known location. Thick vegetation initially makes the soldier difficult to identify, forcing the operator to continue a controlled search between the branches. After several passes, the drone finally locates him resting beneath a tree, apparently unaware that his position has been found. The operator immediately aligns the approach, closes the distance, and commits to the strike. The following sequence unfolds inside a heavily damaged village in the Donetsk region, where Ukrainian reconnaissance drones detect several Russian soldiers entering a concealed shelter among the ruins. Their movement gives away the position, allowing the coordinates to be monitored and passed to a nearby drone unit. Minutes later, a Ukrainian drone approaches the structure and strikes the identified shelter, sending a cloud of dust and debris across the surrounding ruins. As the air gradually clears, movement becomes visible again near the entrance. 3 Russian soldiers cautiously emerge from the damaged position and immediately pause to assess what is happening around them. They scan the nearby buildings and listen for the sound of additional drones overhead. After a brief exchange, the group appears to realize that remaining inside the compromised shelter is no longer practical. They leave the position and move quickly across exposed ground toward another section of the ruined village, while reconnaissance continues, monitoring their movement from above. The following sequence unfolds across a grass field in the Kupiansk sector, where a Ukrainian drone closes in on a Russian soldier concealed in the vegetation. As the aircraft descends, the soldier notices the approaching threat and attempts to evade it. But the drone is already too close. A short distance away, a second Russian soldier remains motionless in the grass, apparently hoping to avoid detection. Moments later, another Ukrainian drone identifies his position, approaches from above, and commits to a second strike. According to released footage, a Ukrainian NGU brigade carried out a large-scale drone operation across the southern direction, deploying more than 40 unmanned aircraft within a single day to monitor and engage Russian reconnaissance and attack drones. The operation shows how quickly aerial movement can become visible once overlapping surveillance is established across contested airspace. Ukrainian operators continuously scan the sector, identify approaching aircraft, and redirect interceptor drones toward confirmed tracks before those systems can complete their missions. In several sequences, Russian drones appear to change direction after detecting the approaching interceptors, attempting to create distance or escape the pursuit. However, once visual contact is established, their available routes become increasingly limited. The footage also highlights a growing tactical challenge for unmanned systems operating without sufficient electronic protection, coordinated air defense, or supporting coverage. In an environment where both sides are constantly searching the sky, survival depends not only on speed, but also on early detection, communication, and coordination. The operation demonstrates how drone warfare is increasingly becoming a contest between unmanned aircraft themselves, with surveillance and interception shaping control of the airspace above the battlefield. The following compilation brings together moments recorded across the Pokrovsk and Donetsk sectors in recent days, showing Russian infantry shortly before Ukrainian drones close in on their positions. These remain some of the most heavily contested areas of the front, where persistent aerial surveillance has made even routine movement increasingly difficult. Across the footage, a familiar pattern emerges. Individual Russian soldiers are seen moving alone through open fields, damaged roads, forest belts, and abandoned positions, often with no visible support nearby and apparently unaware that reconnaissance drones are already observing them from above. Some attempt to disappear beneath trees or inside thick vegetation. Others seek concealment in drainage pipes, shallow depressions, ruined structures, or beneath abandoned vehicles. From ground level, these locations may appear sufficient. From the perspective of an FPV operator, however, concealment becomes a different problem. Once reconnaissance establishes a soldier's approximate location, the search can continue even after the individual disappears from direct view. The drone does not always approach immediately. Operators can circle the area, descend to a lower altitude, examine gaps in vegetation, and wait for movement to reveal the position again. In several sequences, Russian soldiers recognize the approaching aircraft only after it has already closed much of the distance. Some immediately run toward nearby trees or structures. Others remain motionless, apparently hoping concealment will break visual contact. Neither reaction guarantees that the tracking ends. The footage also demonstrates how isolated infantry can become particularly vulnerable when operating without visible coordination or nearby counter-drone protection. Once separated from a larger formation, a soldier has fewer options for changing position without crossing exposed terrain. Every movement can provide another visual reference for the operator overhead. Even dense woodland does not completely remove that pressure. FPV pilots can maneuver between trees at low altitude, making controlled adjustments around branches and other obstacles while continuing to search for an individual position. Reconnaissance drones above can simultaneously maintain the broader picture and relay updated locations. Taken together, these sequences reveal one of the defining tactical realities around Pokrovsk and Donetsk. The decisive moment often begins long before an FPV drone appears nearby. It begins when movement is detected, a position is recorded, and surveillance continues quietly overhead. From that point forward, finding cover and actually disappearing from observation become two very different things.